Welcome to CryptoBytes, your daily crypto news source. We'll cover a wide range of subjects in this video, including Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallets, trading Bitcoin, and much more. If you're scared that we're going to become too technical or use a lot of unfamiliar terminology, don't be. Today we're going to start from the beginning and explain what Bitcoin is, which is now the third most searched phrase on Google. Here at CryptoBytes, we convert Bitcoin into everyday language so that everyone, anybody, can grasp it, regardless of technical experience. You will know more about Bitcoin and how it functions by the conclusion of this course than 99% of people. So let's get started. I want to take a moment to talk about money before we discuss Bitcoin. At its most basic level, money is a symbol of worth. You pay me money in exchange for the value I provide you when I work for you. In the future, I can use that money to purchase something valuable from someone else. Value has taken many different shapes throughout history, and many materials have been employed to symbolize money. Gold, wheat, shells, and salt have all been utilized as exchangeable commodities. But for anything to represent value, people need to believe that it is valuable and will continue to be valued for a long enough time for them to recoup that value in the future. We always placed our confidence in something to stand in for money up until about a century ago. We used to place our confidence in things, but something happened along the line that caused us to shift to placing our trust in people. I'll explain. Paper money was created as a result of individuals finding it too difficult to travel the world carrying gold bars or other types of currency. Here's how it worked. A bank or government would offer to take custody of your gold bar, say one worth $1,000, in exchange for receipt certificates, what we now refer to as bills, amounting to $1,000 from the bank. In addition to being significantly lighter to carry, these pieces of paper allowed you to buy a cup of coffee for $1 without having to chop your gold bar into thousands of pieces. And anytime you required, you could simply take $1,000 and notes back to the bank to exchange them for the real money, in this example, the gold bar. As a result, paper started to be used as money as a practical and convenient tool. The connection between the paper receipt and the gold it represents was, however, weakened through time and as a result of macroeconomic developments. The road that took us away from the gold standard is incredibly difficult to describe, but suffice to say that governments assured their citizens that they would be responsible for the value of the paper money they issued. We basically agreed to forget about trading in gold and switch to paper instead. As a result, commerce was still conducted using receipts that were nothing more than promises from the government, and the reason why that kept working was trust. Fiat money was established because people trusted the government, despite the fact that there is no physical good to support paper money. The Latin phrase fiat, which meaning by edict, is used. Consequently, the value of dollars, euros, or any other currency is determined by government decree. Coins or banknotes that must be accepted if provided as payment are referred to as legal tender. Therefore, the legal status that a central authority, in this example the government, granted to today's currency is what gives its value. As a result, the paradigm of trust has shifted from believing in something to believing in someone, in this case, the government. There are two fundamental issues with fiat money. One, it is centralized. It is administered and issued by a single body, the government or the central bank in this instance. Additionally, there is no quantitative restriction on it. If necessary, the government or central bank can issue an unlimited amount of money to increase the available supply. The issue with printing money is that it devalues each dollar since you're flooding the market with more of it, making your money less valuable. When you notice prices increasing over time, it's not necessarily because prices are going up as much, it's because your money's purchasing power is declining. To purchase something that used to cost less, you now require more money. The transition to digital money was rather easy after fiat money was established. Why not make money primarily digital and allow that authority keep track of who owns what, because we already have a central authority that issues money? Today, the most common kinds of digital currency include credit cards, wire transfers, PayPal, and others. The amount of actual money in circulation is essentially non-existent and is declining. What prevents me from duplicating a file that represents a $1 a million times and having $1 million? Or how does that even work if money today is digital? This is known as the double spend dilemma. Banks now utilize a centralized method. They maintain a computerized ledger that keeps track of who owns what. Each person has an account, and this ledger records a running total for all of them. As a result of our collective trust in the bank and their confidence in their computer, the problem is centered on this ledger and this computer. You might not be aware of this, but there have been several attempts to develop different types of digital currencies. Nevertheless, none have been able to resolve the issue of double spending without the aid of a centralized authority. Giving some authority over the money supply gives them a great deal of power, which leads to three significant problems. First problem is corruption. Total power corrupts utterly. Banks effectively control the flow of value in the globe since they are required to generate money or value, which gives them nearly limitless power. The Wells Fargo scandal, where staff covertly opened millions of unauthorized bank and credit card accounts to boost the bank's income stream without their consumers being aware for years, serves as a little illustration of how power corrupts. Mismanagement is a centralized system's second drawback. Money may be mismanaged if the interests of the central authority and the individuals it governs are not compatible. For instance, printing a lot of money to prevent a certain bank or organization from failing, as occurred in 2008. The issue with printing too much money is that it leads to inflation and essentially devalues the money that ordinary people use. Venezuela serves as an extreme illustration of this, where individuals no longer count money but rather weigh it, since the government has created so much of it and the value of it has fallen so precipitously. Control is the final problem. In essence, you are handing the government or bank complete power over your finances. The government has the right to decide at any time to freeze your account and prevent you from accessing your money. The government can revoke the legal validity of your currency even if you solely use cash, as it did in India a few years ago. Up until 2009, things were in this situation. It appeared that there was no hope of developing a replacement for the present monetary system. But then, everything changed. Online publication of a paper by a man going by the name Satoshi Nakamoto occurred in October 2008. The article, also known as a white paper, made recommendations for how to set up a system for decentralized currency known as Bitcoin. With the help of this approach, it was stated that duplicate spending will be eliminated without the need for a centralized authority. At its foundation, Bitcoin is a decentralized transparent ledger. But what exactly does it mean? To clarify, let's compare Bitcoin to a bank. Since the majority of money in circulation today is now digital, the bank essentially keeps track of its own balances and transactions. However, the bank's ledger, which is kept on the primary computer at the bank, is not transparent. The bank's ledger is completely within the bank's control and is not accessible to the bank. In contrast, the ledger used by Bitcoin is open. I can take a peek into the ledger at any moment to examine all of the current transactions and balances. You are unable to determine who the owners of these amounts and the parties involved in each transaction are. With other words, despite everything being open, transparent, and trackable in Bitcoin, it is still impossible to determine who is sending what to whom. Let's use an illustration to clarify this. You may view specific rows from the Bitcoin ledger on your screen. We can observe that in May 2010, 10,000 Bitcoins were transmitted from one Bitcoin address to another. The first Bitcoin transaction ever was this one, in which a man by the name of Laszlo spent it on 2 pizzas. In a post from 2010, Laszlo requested that someone sell him 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. Someone did, and as a result, the cost of these 2 pizzas is now far over $100 million. Bitcoin is also decentralized. The ledger is not kept on a single machine. Every computer involved in the Bitcoin system also maintains a copy of the ledger, often known as the blockchain. Therefore, you'll need to shut down 1,000 computers that are continually updating and preserving a copy of the ledger if you wish to attack the system or take it down. Bitcoin is digital, much like the majority of money used today. This implies that there is nothing tangible in Bitcoin that you can touch. There are merely columns of transactions and balances. There are no actual coins. When you possess Bitcoin, you are referring to the right to access a particular Bitcoin address record in the ledger and transmit money to another address using it. What does it all mean then? And why is Bitcoin such significant news? Well, thanks to Bitcoin, we finally have a system to replace the one we have been using since the invention of digital money. Bitcoin is a currency that neither the government nor a bank can regulate. Consider how centralized the information flow was before the internet. Basically, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and other important players could provide you with the knowledge you needed. The internet has made information decentralized today, allowing for instant communication and access to knowledge from all over the world. With its decentralized approach to money, Bitcoin is known as the Internet of Money. Bitcoin is superior to the present system in a number of ways. It firstly provides you total control over your finances. With Bitcoin, only you have access to your money. The specifics of how to achieve this will be covered in a subsequent video. No bank or government agency has the authority to decide to close your account or seize your assets. Additionally, Bitcoin eliminates several intermediaries from the money transmission procedure. This implies that using Bitcoin is frequently less expensive than using wire transfers or money orders. Additionally, unlike fiat currencies, Bitcoin was created to be digital by nature. Because of this, it can be enhanced with extra layers of programming to become smart money. But we'll cover that in more detail in coming videos. Finally, Bitcoin allows the 2.5 billion individuals who lack access to the present financial system in the globe to engage in digital trade. Because of where they come from and the environment they were born into, these people are either unbanked or underbanked. Today, however, people may start dealing with Bitcoin with only a click of a button on a smartphone. No authorization necessary. Many businesses, both online and offline, now accept Bitcoin. If you'd like, you may use Bitcoin to reserve a hotel room or arrange a flight. Even Bitcoin debit cards exist that let you use your Bitcoin Bitcoin balance to make purchases at nearly any retailer. But there is still a long way to go before the mass of the populace accepts you. In the next videos, we'll explain in detail how Bitcoin functions and how to utilize it. In addition to many other topics, we will learn about Bitcoin wallets, mining, and many related to that. The money revolution started in 2009 and it is already changing the way we think about money. Perhaps you still have some inquiries. If so, simply post them in the section below. And don't forget to click the like button if you're watching this video on YouTube and you like what you've seen. Then, be sure to subscribe to receive notifications when new episodes are available. Thank you for watching CryptoBytes, your daily crypto news source. And we'll see you in the next videos.